Greetings, fellow RotoBallers. Look, the only way to set your Week 5 lineup is by utilizing our RotoBaller rankings. So, Dave, who a quarterback sticks out to you in the top 10 this week?
Well, Joey, I think there's a fellow Joe who has steadily climbed up our ranks, and this week he's cracked our top 5. It's Joe Burrow, who should keep the hype train rolling versus Baltimore D, who's absolutely getting torched. He's our QB5, right behind all the usual suspects. Joey, we got Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar, and Allen, of course. But if you're into narratives, I feel like single Tom Brady might throw for 500 touchdowns versus Atlanta. He's finally inside our top 10, nay, top 7. Single Tom is our QB7, and he's must-start material now that he isn't throwing to Scotty Miller and Brashard Perryman.
Dave, he's inside our top 10, but he is outside in the marital doghouse right now. And look, it would not be our show if we did not at least mention Captain Kirk Cousins once. Drink. So despite being average, which is so Kirk Cousins of him, he's still our QB9 this week, and it would not be October if we didn't mention the mascara man himself, Derek Carr. He is our QB11. Now let's move over to tight end, and what the heck is going on right now? TJ Hawkinson, welcome. He's our tight end 5 after putting up the 7th best tight end PPR performance of all time.
Yeah, couldn't believe it. And of course, I played against him in what felt like every single league.
Of
Why does
course.
that always happen to me? Probably because I'm a masochist, because I keep starting Kyle Pitts, Joey,
Ooh,
who's
the pain.
fallen all the way down to our tight end 8. Now, we are saying we prefer tight ends this week, like Tyler Higbee. He's our tight end 7, and even Zach Ertz, who's our tight end 6 still this week. And that's about all the tight end talk I can stomach. So let's talk about some wideouts, Joe, where things have gotten very interesting for the Bengals. I mean, a lot of people don't know. Who do you rank first? Is it Higgins? Is it Chase? We're still rolling with Higgins. I'm sorry, we're still rolling with Chase. He's our wide receiver 6. Higgins, wide receiver 11. But it's still very close, and I could see, those going back to back. Speaking of close, here's a couple wide receivers that are creeping up each and every week, Joey, and have cracked our top 15. You'll love to see it. Christian Kirk at wide receiver 14, and Marquise Hollywood Brown, baby, hanging on as our wide receiver 15.
And let's wrap it up with our running back rankings. And look, I love seeing Saquon sitting pretty at RB1, but King Henry, he's making moves to retake that throne. He's our RB4 this week. Aaron Jones, he's getting it done. We don't think that stops firmly inside our top 10 at RB9. And then you'll see a bunch of movers in the 10 to 20 range this week. James Robinson, RB13, expecting a bounce back from him. And Miles Sanders to build off a dominant week 4 performance. He's our RB15, both of whom you probably drafted at a really nice discount. And you fantasy freaks out there, you have to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was me, Joey, who all offseason was telling people on this channel, you need to draft CEH and Miles Sanders over Jonathan Taylor. And just, must have got lost in YouTube or something, that video that I said that.
Yeah, that must have gotten erased somehow. We live in the fantasy upside down right now, folks. And with that, Dave, let's hit him with the 60-second recap starting right now. Here are the fantasy players that were the biggest movers in our RotoBaller rankings heading into week 5. At QB, a fellow Joe. Joe Burrow is our QB5 in a juicy matchup with the Ravens. And we are saying without Giselle, Brady will be fine as long as he has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He's our QB7.
And Halloween is almost here, so throw on that eyeliner and start the mascara man himself, Derek Carr. He's QB11. Speaking of horror, what the heck? TJ Hawkinson is tight end 5, Joey, while Kyle Pitts hanging on by a thread is our tight end 8.
Very thin thread. And for pass catchers, both Bengals are top 12 plays this week, but we still rank Chase 5 spots ahead of Higgins despite last week. And rounding out our top 15, a couple of new names for you. Christian Kirk, wide receiver 14, and Hollywood looking good Brown at wide receiver 15.
Now, Derrick Henry is coming back for that throne, mark my words, but he's RB4 right now. Aaron Jones finds himself cemented as our RB9. And if you drafted Miles Sanders and James Robinson, pat yourself on the back because J-Rob is RB13. Miles is RB15. Now go ahead and like and subscribe.